What's up, Team KBA? Today it is the NAYOSMART Almighty Travel Backpack. For a bag that is sub $100, this is a great affordable backpack. Very functional, practical, got a ton of inbuilt organizations, and it gives you some of those travel-minded features of how you like to pack. I've used that as an everyday bag and also on a few like getaway trips. Share what I like about it, what I don't like so much, or what they can improve, and ultimately whether this bag is right for you or your style of travel. If you think this is the bag for you, I'll also put the link where you can buy it. So without further ado, let's get started. Here is the NAYOSMART Almighty. There are two sizes, the 25 and the 32 liter. I've got the 32 liter, which is a bit better for travel size versus the 25, which might be more of an everyday, but they share the same compartment organization setup, so you can use this as a reference for both. But note there's a 7 liter difference. In terms of weight, this is also 1.5 kilograms versus the smaller version, which comes in at 1.2. It's got a very functional and utilitarian design, but I also think it's pretty clean as well. It doesn't scream like a travel backpack, so this gives me more tech vibes, and just as an everyday thing, unzip it, it unfolds. Got two separate pockets where I like to keep my notepad, two pockets in between for a stylus, a pen, also a key tether, which is very useful, a nice feature in travel backpacks to keep that stowed away. And I tend to drop it in this section, but it's also good for like a power bank, passport, document, travel wallets if you are flying around. And it's also very roomy. It's pretty deep, but it's got enough flex and not too much. It's maybe 2 centimeters roughly. So you can put stuff that are relatively thick, but not too big. Flatter stuff tend to work well in here. Pretty deep and better suited for, maybe a travel wallet. But I've also put in my USB cables whenever I need to charge from my power bank. Probably is my favorite pocket on the exterior. And if I open it, it's horizontal, so it spans the full width and it drops a few centimeters deep. This is honestly great when you're on holiday, need to drop your passport, wallet, any small bits, like could even be your camera, battery, anything small in here that you want to regularly access. Stretch, and I think I've got my lock bottle here. This water bottle on the side. This is 740 millimeters. It will fit a typical bottle as long as it's not too thick like the Hydro Flask ones. And when you're not using it, just zip it up and it keeps a relatively flat profile. A USB port, which connects from inside. We have this zip compartment. Kind of got that whole refrigerated or like picnic bag on the back. Meshed back panel the entire way, including the shoulder straps. We've got a luggage pass-through vertically. It's just this seat webbing that works well. A security zipper compartment. I like to drop my wallet in here if I'm going through crowded cities. We've got a chest strap. Sadly, mine broke, so it's stitched away from this, and of course it's going to be one of the points that I want to flag. It's not strong, it's fairly weak. Buckle that I connected with actually dropped off, sadly. We do have a small compartment, so great for a transport card or just a few extra loose change. Sunglass loop. You can see it's got the icon. Nice loop. Of course, you can hang anything else. So you could put a carabiner, extra external attachment loop options, full on like metal handle, super rugged. And yeah, it does actually make carrying this really good. It doesn't dig into my hand, especially if you're loading heavier gear and weight. Let's start off with the tech compartment section. So this is on the rear part of the lid. Organized for your laptop. The 32-inch, you can pretty much bring as big of a laptop that you have. 16 inches will fit perfectly. You could probably even stretch that to 20 because it's really wide, and it's also got some depth to this section. My 14-inch fits here with plenty of room to spare. These Velcro loops are to help secure it, but to be honest, they don't really work well, especially if you've got smaller, very thin laptops, like it just won't reach it. Where I do find it to be helpful is if you are fully opening this up, then the laptop can actually come outside of this hole to make sure that this is looped over it, because it will catch it and stop it from dropping. This is great for an iPad mini. You can also put an iPad. My Nintendo Switch actually was a great place for this, so I like that a lot. Wide enough, not crazy for like the bigger tablets, it will stick out. These were some nice like cubby pouch areas. Has some depth because it's got some elastic loops attached. I really like this because it's got a mesh panel that sort of separates and stops everything from falling out when you open. So it is well contained through this mesh panel, and that's fully zippered. So you can get full bright access to it. 2 internal pouches, which I don't have with me since I like to mix and match, and I've got other organizers that are just a lot better. But they do come with it if you don't have any tech organizers. One is good for your toiletries, it's functionable and you can actually hang it, which is nice. And the other, yeah, just from extra bits, but I don't really worry too much. We do have these Velcro patches, which is how those compartments sort of stuck to it, and pretty much, yeah, it stuck to it very well. Let's have one zipper, and it's against the body, and it's wide and pretty deep enough. This is going to be the most secure place because it's inside within this mesh panel and zipped. Some inner side pockets, which are like joey pouches. Handy. So I showed you can put your bottle on the outside, but you can also put it on the inside. And I tend to put it here when I just wanted more of a cleaner exterior and I didn't need to drink like regularly. So just putting it inside did work well. You can also put an umbrella, a small umbrella, inside or outside, just to give you a few options. Similar to like a carry-on luggage. You've got your side walls, and this kind of recreates that. So if you have like more deeper things compared to the NAYOSMART Expedition, which was kind of a bento bag and had separate sections for the mesh, but that was kind of split in half. This is a little bit deeper than that, so you can fit those in well. The side walls are fairly rugged, so it gives it some shape, but towards the top it does taper off, so it's a little bit shallower up here versus down here, which means that you have to think a little bit more how you want to pack stuff. To just give you a few ideas, so you might have like your toiletry pack. I've also got my tech essentials. This one is really deep, so I would pack this towards the bottom, my Peak Design Tech Organizer. If I haven't got anything pressed outside, then it probably could still work, but I'll place it down for now. My sunglass case, which has 1, 2, and I would probably just slot that on the side. Might get my other water bottle. I'll stash this on the other side. Headphones can probably go on the outside. I've actually stored it here sometimes. If you don't use much on the outside, it does give you a bit more space on the inside. And if you find you're traveling away, I might just drop in a pair of shoes, but just for some display purposes. So pretty packed and bulky. Again, if I remove the bottle and put it outside, it does make things a lot more comfortable. So you can see that fits in perfectly. And if I zip that up, plenty of space like up here, also on the side. So you can really flesh that all out. And when you're done, you can just zip it away. So that's the NAYOSMART Almighty. Now I've also used the Expedition, their other travel backpack, which has a different approach to it. It's kind of like a bento style, opens in half. This presents a different travel backpack, but I also think it's a great balance between your everyday and travel. It's super comfortable. I'd say more so than the Expedition when you're really loading this up, just because it kind of has a curvature towards the top and the weight is loaded more towards the bottom. But the thicker mesh padding along the shoulders and the back panel were really good. I never found the bag digging into my shoulders or on me over a long period of time. Carrying just everyday stuff, not too many, then this is going to be perfect for you. The zippers themselves is not waterproof or repellent, but again, for a $100 bag or sub $100, it works well. It's double zippered. It also has a loop, so you can also TSA lock, which just means I get full bright access because it zips all the way down. It is a bag that's meant to sort of lay on its face, so you can open from the rear. I've also used it for my laptop charger. I forgot to mention that was probably the best place for me to store it away. Since it's separated from everything else, it's not going to scratch or mix and tangle with the rest of my cables. If you're carrying a heavy load and you lift up with one bag, that's going to really stress the seam in the middle. I'd advise if you don't do that, it's gonna last you long. It was something I noticed when it was just really heavy. I tend to just grab with one and put it over my shoulder. On this bag, it has split, so the stitching needs to be redone. If you are looking to get a bag on a budget, but you need all of the functional, practical features, and you just want a comfortable experience if you're planning to wear this as a carry-on only on your trips, the NAYOSMART Almighty is a really nice option. If you want to read more about it, check out my written review on my website at onetechtraveler.com. And if you think this is the right bag for you, then you can purchase it or check them out in the links down below. Thanks a lot, Team KBA. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace.